This fight, someone said to me, is this just about the fathers? No. As a standalone fight, forget their parents. It's a thriller. But throw in the rivalry, throw in the history, throw in the legacy. And what you've got is one of the biggest British fights of all time.
Oh, tempers flaring.
You think you can fight me like that? Easy, bro. Look at the state of your face. Look at the state of your face.
Conor Benn fights next. Speculation about
there's a lot of options on the table. Furman,
If you go make it happen, you see a European title shot. We're not going to keep that.
Backing Conor Benn, I know Conor, spoke to him a few times, always been a top bloke to me. His dad's a top bloke, his dad's a legend, and I'll be backing him, but it's going to be difficult, as he's already alluded to, the two weight divisions coming up.
I think Ben is a more explosive fighter than Liam Smith. He's faster, he punches hard.
Ben's dangerous early in that fight, in my view, because he's coming with all that stinging venom and kind of pent-up aggression that he's developed over the last 2.5 years.
Because I love the challenge, the drive, the goals, the ambition, the fighting. As long as I reach my full potential and I can look back and go, I've done everything I could. This is the blessings of our dads. They laid the foundation for us.
Oh, excellent shot to the body and big power shots again, and Cole looks bedraggled once more. Jeff Hines is there as Cole goes down.
Ben to unload so that maybe he can pick him up later in the contest. And
I'm on a rise. Oh, good one. 2 and he's down.
Big right hand. So often the best shot against the southpaw. And Van Hurt is badly hurt and goes down.
I'm watching them, kind of like I'm eating and I'm watching it, and it makes it feel like I'm eating that. It's like a sick mental joke I play on myself, but it helps.
Eubank really believes that in his heart either. Maybe he's just being dismissive, but on the night he's a smart guy. He's an intentional guy.
Chris, you see his last few fights, he's taken a different approach to how he's fighting now. Before he used to be just kind of ferocious, a lot of tenacity, a lot of punches. Now he's a lot more calculated and he moves a lot.
Eubank's fought the better level of opponents, even though he's aged 2.5 years and he's been knocked out by Liam Smith.
I mean, he is the bigger fighter. He is the much more experienced fighter against much better competition.
England, Chris Eubank Jr. Eubank. The contest so far, lovely technique there. Just
jab the body as well.
Neither of these men down, remember, as a professional.
Weight division. Oh, that's a big left hook.
Never been halted and down again.
Yoderin being forced backwards and a thunderous left hook.
The fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn has been one of the most anticipated in recent boxing history. From the moment the news broke that these two would face off, boxing fans and experts around the world began to analyze what it would mean for both men's careers. The two fighters, both in their prime but with contrasting styles, promised a showdown that would be as much about raw emotion as it would be about athletic ability.
If anyone else touches me.
What if I was to slap you right now? What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, talk about my dad.
I'm not talking about your dad.
No.
But I told him.
But
I told him.
Get off me, please.
My old man would never touch you, so your old man's never going to touch me.
I'll never slap you.
You would never slap me?
Yeah, no, I won't
You
slap
put your hands on me twice since my last fight.
When?
You pushed me.
Push, a little push.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You put your hands on me.
Little push and stuff.
You
Stop moaning
put your
about
hands
it.
on me.
Stop moaning about it. A little push and shove. Stop moaning about it. Talk about my dad.
You put your hands on me, I put my hands on you.
I'll never disrespect your dad.
Yeah. You see, this guy comes in when I'm cutting weight.
He comes in when he comes. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow after the fight. I'll see you tomorrow after the fight.
Good. You get in that ring.
Yeah, what? Get in that ring. I'll get in that ring and give it to you.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course, mate.
We'll see.
You're fucking lucky you're fighting tomorrow.
We'll see.
You're lucky, mate.
We'll see.
Get your hand off me.
It's okay, let him come close, man. I like this. I like this energy. I like this energy.
Yeah, what? You like the girl?
You're a kid.
You're a kid. Yeah, keep it good.
You're a kid.
Keep
You're a
it
kid.
good. Queue up. Yeah.
Watch what happens.
Yeah, watch what happens.
The anticipation for this fight was at a fever pitch even before the first punch was thrown. Eubank Jr., who has been in the spotlight for years, has the backing of his family name, a legacy in boxing, and a reputation as a tough, determined fighter. Meanwhile, Conor Benn, the son of another boxing legend, Nigel Benn, has been making waves in the sport, showing flashes of brilliance with his power and tenacity. As the fight approaches, both men have been exchanging warnings with each other.
I have something that's been bothering me for years now, and I'm gonna get it off my chest.
Chris Eubank Jr. is confident that he will show the world why he is the superior fighter, claiming that he's been in with much tougher opponents and has the experience to handle whatever Conor Benn brings to the ring.
Is this almost becoming too personal and too bitter, this rivalry now with you and Conor?
That's for the public to decide. I just have to deal with what's in front of me. I have to deal with the fact that I'm fighting a drug cheat, and I have to treat him in the way that any drug cheat should be treated, and that is very poorly.
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 65,000 people. What happens here on April 26th?
The procedure will be parliamentary.
On the other hand, Conor Benn stated that he is younger and at a better point in his career compared to Eubank Jr., who he believes is nearing the end of his career. When asked if he would quit if he lost, Benn responded that he wouldn't quit, though he emphasized that he didn't plan on losing the fight. While acknowledging that losses can happen in a career, he made it clear that losing to Eubank Jr. would be particularly painful for him.
Yeah, listen, I'm 28, he's done what he's had to do in his career. It's finished.
You wouldn't quit if you lost this fight?
No, of course not. Not that I plan on losing the fight, not that I think I will lose the fight. The reality is, you can lose fights. I will lose fights in my career. Not to this man.
What would it mean to lose to him?
Oh, it'd be painful.
The rivalry between the two is undeniable, and it's clear that there is more than just a title on the line. Both are looking to cement their legacy in the sport, and the fight represents the ultimate test of who will reign supreme in the future of British boxing. But there is a question in everyone's mind: why Conor Benn has the edge over Chris Eubank Jr.? At first glance, Chris Eubank Jr. might seem like the fighter with the clear advantage in this matchup. He has more experience in big fights, a solid career, and has faced a number of top-tier boxers. However, when we take a deeper look at both fighters' strengths and weaknesses, it becomes evident that Conor Benn may have the edge going into this contest.
I'm here,
Just admit it, that's
I'm
it.
ready to go.
That's it. Look at your team. Dysfunctional.
Conor's youth. Perhaps one of the biggest advantages Conor Benn holds over Chris Eubank Jr. is his youth. At just 26 years old, Conor is in the prime of his career, with years of improvement ahead of him. On the other hand, Chris Eubank Jr. is 33, and while he's still a formidable force, his age could become a factor, especially in the later rounds of the fight. Sam Jones said that youth will surely be a key factor in the fight.
I just think Conor Benn's going to win. Too young, too fresh, and although, listen, Eubank, it took a lot for him to come back after getting viciously knocked out by Liam Smith, to come back and beat Liam Smith.
In boxing, a fighter's peak is typically in their mid-20s to early 30s, with reflexes, speed, and stamina being at their highest during this period. Conor Benn's body is in top physical condition, and he has the energy and agility to outwork many of his opponents. He has a natural ability to adapt quickly and is constantly evolving in the ring. Tony Bellew said Conor Benn knocks him out inside 5 rounds. Too explosive, too young, too quick. Inside 5 rounds, I don't even question it. That wasn't Liam Smith in the rematch. Speed is another critical factor where Conor Benn has the advantage. As fighters age, their reflexes can slow down, and their ability to avoid punches or land their own can diminish. While Eubank Jr. is quick and powerful, Conor Benn's youth gives him an edge in terms of footwork, speed, and reaction time. He can dart in and out of range, making it difficult for Eubank Jr. to land significant punches, particularly in the early rounds. Barry McGuire acknowledged Conor Benn's speed and explosiveness.
I think it's a great fight. I would pick Benn at the minute, simply because Eubank was cracked by Liam Smith, and he was never cracked before. And it's a summary for me. He had a great chin up to then, and then he was knocked out, and it's never quite the same again. I think Benn is a more explosive fighter than Liam Smith. He's faster. He punches hard, but then, good big one will always beat a good little one, all those cliches. But I just think I would give Benn the edge. But, Eubank's tough.
Moreover, Conor Benn's age gives him the luxury of time. If this fight is close, Benn is more likely to have the stamina to continue pushing in the later rounds. His ability to recover from previous rounds and bounce back is also an advantage that Eubank Jr. may not have in this contest. Eubank Jr. might struggle to maintain his usual level of intensity over the full 12 rounds, whereas Conor, with his youth and conditioning, could continue to push forward. Benn's aggression and power. One of the defining traits of Conor Benn's boxing style is his aggression. He is an explosive fighter who goes on the attack from the moment the bell rings. This aggression has worked well for Benn throughout his career, and he has knocked out several opponents with his brutal punching power. Another expert, Ricky Hatton, emphasized Conor's determination and his focus on boxing, just like his dad.
Conor has a huge self-belief and drive, to be honest with you. You know, a drive like his dad. The Benn family, I've never seen a family with more drive and determination. So I think everything's pointing at Chris Eubank Jr. But I think I might have a sneaky few quid on Conor, to be honest with you. His drive and his confidence and his self-belief is something that I've only ever seen in a handful of people, and he's going to need that. And I think that might be enough against Eubank.
While Chris Eubank Jr. is known for his technical skills and precise punches, he's sometimes been criticized for not being aggressive enough in his approach. His fights often see him playing a more defensive role, controlling the ring but not necessarily overwhelming his opponents with relentless pressure. Conor Benn, on the other hand, is constantly looking for an opening, moving forward and throwing powerful combinations to break his opponent's defense. Moreover, Teddy Atlas sheds light on how Conor Benn will approach the fight.
You know, Eubanks, you know, wants to probably keep it on the outside as much as he can and use his skill sets to, you know, use his hand speed and his ability to throw counter punches and, you know, punches from different angles. He needs space, or space accommodates him pretty well and favors him pretty well when he has that space to do that. And I would think that Benn would like to take that space away, you know, like to kind of work his way in and maybe go to the body like a better BF with a Bevo, take the legs away.
Benn's power is no joke. He has demonstrated the ability to knock out top-tier opponents, and his hands are known to pack a serious punch. Conor's knockout record speaks volumes about his ability to finish fights early, and he can turn the tide of a fight with one well-placed punch. His power could be a game-changer against Eubank Jr., especially if the fight becomes more intense.
I like the ability of Eubanks when he's right, you know, when his focus is there, when he's right, to be able to do things in a boxing way on the outside. And I love Benn's style and his approach, I do, where, you know, being aggressive in a responsible way, you know, in a way a fighter should be, with paying attention to, you know, doing it with defense, a responsibility of defense, and, you know, just proper way to engage somebody, but the consistent offense, looking to, you know, to engage.
Chris Eubank Jr., while also a powerful puncher, might find it hard to keep up with Benn's non-stop aggression. Eubank Jr.'s style is one of calculated strikes, but Benn's constant pressure may force him to fight at a pace that he isn't used to. A fighter who is constantly moving forward can disrupt the rhythm of a more methodical boxer, and that could be one of the keys to Conor's success in this fight. Tommy Welch highlighted how both fighters will put pressure and come out aggressive in their upcoming fight.
Do you know, the nice thing with Chris is that he can box as well. Like, he can box as well, and he might have to do that in this fight. You know, if he sits in, but he loves to fight. Do you know what I mean? Both of these guys love to fight. Conor is a fighter. They're going to come and smash heads to each other, and they're going to stick a war on like we haven't seen for a long while, you know, between two guys that generally dislike each other. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be a fantastic fight. I wouldn't miss it. Do you know what I mean?
Benn's ability to hurt his opponents early in the fight might take the wind out of Eubank Jr.'s sails. If Benn can land a powerful shot in the first few rounds, it could give him a psychological advantage, leaving Eubank Jr. questioning his ability to withstand Benn's power. Benn's strong mentality. Conor Benn's mental toughness is another reason he could have the upper hand in his fight against Chris Eubank Jr. In boxing, a fighter's mindset can often be just as important as their physical attributes. Conor has shown time and again that he has the heart of a champion, and he isn't afraid of big challenges. One thing that sets Benn apart from many other young fighters is his confidence. He knows he has a legacy to live up to, and he takes that pressure and uses it to fuel his determination. Being the son of Nigel Benn, a former world champion, Conor feels the weight of that name, but he has embraced it, using it as motivation rather than a burden. In his interviews, Benn often speaks about how his father's success drives him to push even harder.
You know, I work on my strengths and worry about what I can do. I don't worry about what he can do, I worry about what I can do.
Chris Eubank Jr., meanwhile, has often been seen as brash and cocky. While this attitude has worked for him in some respects, it can also be a double-edged sword. Overconfidence can sometimes lead to mistakes, and Eubank Jr. has had moments in his career where he appeared to underestimate his opponents. Chris even challenged Eddie Hearn to bet him £1 million on his fight against Conor. If Ben can take advantage of these moments, he could shift the mental dynamics in the fight, forcing Eubank Jr. to question his tactics and his ability to win.
Eddie. Come on, Eddie. £1 million, eh? Okay. Let's find out if you're a man of your word or just a lying hype job. I formally accept your £1 million bet. And the £1 million will be our own personal money. Not company money or purse money, just a straight up bet between me and you. The money will go into escrow and the winner takes all. And now I look forward to watching you trying to weasel your way out of this bet like the rodent I know you are. You bet.
Ben's strong mentality also shows in how he handles adversity. He's shown resilience when faced with tough situations in the ring, and his ability to come back after taking punches will be crucial in this bout. Eubank Jr., for all his confidence, can sometimes be rattled when things don't go according to plan. If Ben can break Eubank's rhythm early, he could maintain control for the rest of the fight, keeping Eubank on the back foot. Other side of the coin. Despite the growing excitement surrounding Conor Benn's fight with Chris Eubank Jr., many boxing legends continue to favor Eubank Jr., with one crucial factor standing out: experience. In boxing, experience is often considered the most important element in determining the outcome of a fight. It's not just about physical strength or speed. A fighter's ability to read an opponent, stay composed under pressure, and adapt to changing circumstances can make all the difference. And in this regard, Eubank Jr.'s wealth of experience at the highest level sets him apart. Another analyst, Mark Tibbs, praised Chris Eubank Jr. for his experience in boxing.
Well, I know what, fights are won and lost on the scales. I know what he can do when you're tight for weight. I know how difficult it is when you're tight for weight, and unless you're around both of them, listen, there's pluses, there's pros and cons in that, and it really is such a 50-50. It really is. I mean, the ferocity of Conor Benn is could be overwhelming for Eubank, but Eubank, listen, he's fought the better opposition in his career, but I think he's not the most active of guys either, and he's getting on a little bit. It's a 50-50, man, but yeah, I think the weight will suit Conor Benn, and therefore I'll give him the edge. Yeah.
Chris Eubank Jr. has been in the ring with some of the best fighters in the world. His career has spanned multiple high-profile bouts against seasoned champions like George Groves, James DeGale, and most recently Liam Smith.
In the fight that we never knew we needed.
These experiences have shaped Eubank Jr. into a fighter with the ability to adapt to various styles, handle adversity, and stay calm under pressure. He's been tested in ways that Conor Benn has not, and many experts believe this will be a decisive advantage when the two face off in the ring. Roy Jones Jr. also acknowledges Chris Eubank's experience in the ring and his toughness.
Chris is definitely an improved fighter. You understand me? And like, even the stuff he's doing now, he's gonna continue to get better, but I think when he came down there with me for that year, it improved his foundation. You understand me? So it made him a better fighter.
Furthermore, experience allows fighters to better understand their own strengths and weaknesses. Eubank Jr. has faced a variety of opponents over the years. From technical boxers to power punchers, he has learned how to navigate different challenges, and this versatility makes him a more well-rounded fighter. His ability to read his opponent and adjust his strategy accordingly is something Ben may struggle with, especially since Ben is still in the earlier stages of his career and has not faced opponents of the same caliber as Eubank Jr.
That's an accomplishment. Well done. The most unlikable geezer on the planet. Even your dad don't like you.
Maybe.
Man, drop the mic.
Joe Gallagher stated that Chris Eubank Jr. has much more experience than Conor Benn and has faced more difficult opponents.
There's nothing to suggest, and this is nothing against Conor, he's coming on, there's nothing to suggest Conor can deliver because no one's seen him in a title fight at Southern, English, British, European. And looking at his last performance in America or two that he had, while this was going,
was it?
Yeah, there was nothing to suggest you could beat Eubank Jr. Now you look at Eubank Jr.'s resume, yes, 35, 36, but was in the World Boxing Super Series against George Groves, a big super middleweight. He went to Turkey and knocked out Yildirim. Then he ragdolled James DeGale round the ring. He's got that experience, and when he's motivated and focused, we've seen what he did to Liam Smith. I think Eubank Jr. just think he's too big, hits too strong, and that's it.
Another aspect of Eubank Jr.'s experience is the mentorship he receives from his father, Chris Eubank Sr. Eubank Sr. is a boxing legend in his own right, known for his unorthodox style and mental toughness. His insights into the game are invaluable and can provide his son with a unique edge. The combination of Eubank Jr.'s own experiences and the guidance of his father makes him a much more seasoned fighter compared to Ben, who is still building his legacy. Fight conclusion. In this highly anticipated fight, both Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn will be looking to make a statement in the boxing world. While Eubank Jr. brings experience, power, and a legacy of his own, Conor Benn's youth, aggression, mental toughness, and adaptability give him a significant edge in this matchup. The fight between these two is more than just a title bout, it's a battle for the future of British boxing. Eubank Jr. will certainly be a tough opponent, but Ben has all the tools to come out on top. His energy, speed, and ability to adapt make him the more dangerous fighter in this case. Fans around the world are eagerly awaiting this showdown, and when the bell rings, it's sure to be a fight for the ages. It's impossible to predict with certainty who will win, but right now, Conor Benn appears to have the edge. Will experience triumph over youth, or will Ben's raw energy and determination lead him to victory? Only time will tell, so what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.